How much fun delivering your private clients directly to their Learjet. This was a fun day, my friend. The front of my car is right underneath this wing here. I had to drive between Learjets to get my clients to their plane, and literally at one stage the guy gave me directions to go around the plane, over the landing strip where the planes are coming in, shoot around and then drop off all the luggage. Okay, so this on this particular day I dropped off my V.I.P.s. You'll have plenty of those in the Lux category, in the SUV and the black category, right? There's sort of different grades of people taking those cars. Some like to just show off a little bit and get a big car, let's say for a prom, but there are regulars that constantly take these big cars in Los Angeles, Chicago, your city, and it doesn't matter if you're driving an UberX. Look, the one thing you got to understand, I respect where everybody starts off, right? If your budget allows for an UberX, absolutely, that's where I began, right? But what I want to tell you is, you can step it up, you can build this business. I show you how to do that, right? And who knows, you may never want to drive in this category and roll with these type of people. I personally enjoy it because the level of the conversations are high, right? There's a lot of privileges these people extend to you once you're in, right? Once they trust you with their kids, with their wives, driving them from A to B, making sure that they get home safely. A lot of these businessmen and businesswomen, politicians, actors, musicians, they live quite a crazy life, right? And you learn how to adapt to their lifestyle, you learn what their needs are, and you cater to them, and you can make a lot of money. I'm telling you right now, you can make a lot of money with private clients. Now, the one thing I suggest you never do is try and solicit an Uber or Lyft driver and say, listen, I can drive you privately, right? Because it just takes one particular client to put in a call or an email to Uber and you're out. So don't jeopardize your Uber and Lyft chances here, right? What I want to show you is, if you are willing to start your own limo company, there are so many ways you can market your way into neighborhoods, right? I spoke to a guy this morning who had a Lexus, and he was driving in Select, and I believe he said he sometimes even did UberX trips, or he did UberX trips in the past, and he then registered that Lexus with a TCP license, started his own company, and he gives clients a great budget trip at the right price. You're not talking your 550 Mercedes, your Bentleys, your 750 BMW prices, right, in the Lux category. He's positioned himself in there, where a SUV trip might cost $120, he'll drive that guy for $65, $70, and he told me he's busy all day long, right? And he said he transitioned from Uber and now does the private stuff full time, right? I mix it up. I do a healthy balance of both, but I keep these two identities separate. My limo company with my drivers that I lease the vehicles out to, and they use those vehicles for Uber. But if I have a client that I recruit through my limo company that I can't cater for, or if I need to move a big crowd of people, I will bring in 5 drivers. They are paying me 20% of that trip, right? You make good money that way. So, long story short, ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor, try and look into this, ask me questions about this. If you're happy in UberX, that's cool, right? If you're happy in doing 10, 15 trips with little amounts, it does accumulate to a lot of money, absolutely fine. Some people don't like this pressure, right? And with UberX, you don't have to go out of your way and spoil your client. You don't even have to have waters in your car. You don't have to have mints in your car. Sure, if you invest that little bit of money into your client, right? You have 4 passengers, and each person takes a water and takes mints, you know, that sometimes maybe half your fare gone right there. So it's not necessary to spoil them with little goodies, but in this category you've got to go all out, right? What do they want? Do they want their newspaper, New York Times, Wall Street Journal? Do they want that in the car? Is there a specific coffee that they would like? You know, keep a lot of magazines on board. These people like to either work in the car or they like to entertain themselves. The ladies start reading the magazines. They love the fact that you're up to date with all the magazines, People magazine, this magazine. And, you know, safety is imperative. You just move these crowds slowly from A to B to their Learjet, for example, and to market yourself to this crowd, right? And it's coming in late in the video, but to market yourself, I make postcards, nice glossy black and silver postcards with my cars on there, and you know, I'll say limo well, or luxury experience, or whatever my slogan is, and I'll tell them a little bit about myself, you know, that I'm a highly rated Uber driver. I have a ton of clients in this area. If you want a reference, I can give you a reference from 10 different families or so, and I'll give them a little coupon on that postcard. And guess what? I'm mailing it out at 37 or 38 cents or whatever the postage is, or 45 cents, I'm not too sure. But I mail it out into these zip codes, into these neighborhoods, and the people start seeing me. A couple of months later, I do another mailer. That's all I do, right? I also go to very high-end hotels in Bel Air, Beverly Hills, and I might put my business card on their window, just stick it in there, right? Like your VIP limo service. So that is how I have recruited a ton of drivers. So if you have spent the money on a Lexus, if you have spent the money on a pretty decent middle-class car or a luxury car, cater to this crowd. They're there. Depending what neighborhood you want to appeal to, you can market your way into that neighborhood. You can check up the streets, you can check up the houses, the numbers on Google Maps, and you can make a nice mailing list, right? And you can send it out, 200, 300, 400 postcards. It's not going to cost you the end of the world. It might cost you maybe $200 in marketing fees and another $50 to $100 in printing costs, right? So, but let's say I've invested $300 into that marketing campaign. It takes me one client out of that entire campaign that books me 3 times, and I have the entire amount of that marketing campaign back. I'm at that break-even point, right? From there on, that particular person might refer me out to 2 or 3 other families or friends. Then I'm starting to make money. This guy already takes his 4th trip. I'm already making money. You will never ever lose investing into yourself. Okay. So yes, I'm sorry that I explained the marketing part very late into the video, but I sort of wanted to set the stage as to who you could be driving. I could throw out names. It's Jamie Foxx, Kendall Jenner, Channing Tatum, Dwayne Wade, all of these guys, Dr. Phil, I've driven them all. And that's like 2% of the list. I can tell you, all in all, they're amazing people. You'll learn from them, and you're surrounding yourself with the highest caliber individuals, the best in their class, the best in the NBA, the best in the business. You learn a lot from them, right? And truly, it pays off to be in the know, to read your newspapers, to be on top of politics, to be on top of topics, because these people love talking about up-to-date things. Well, say, what do you think about that and that happened yesterday or this morning? You know what? Bonus points to you if you've already read the story, and you can start commenting on it, right? So I try and read a lot in the evening and the morning before I go out, so I have a good idea what's happening in national and world politics, because these guys will want to engage on a very high level. Doesn't necessarily mean it happens in UberX, right? If you're driving a bunch of college kids to a pub, I don't think they want to start a very high highly intellectual conversation with you in the car. No, they're interested where the next drinking hole is. You get them there safely, they're happy, they play their music super, super loud. These guys hardly ever will crank up the music, right? They want to either have a quiet atmosphere in the car where they can be on their laptop, they want to have their chargers, any little extras you can offer them, great bonus points. And again, safety is the big one here, and trust, and build up loyalty and trust. If the guy wants to be there at 12 o'clock, you arrive at 11:50, right, 11:45. You always want to be punctual. Never be 5 minutes late. You will see it irritates them because these people roll on a schedule, right? Very often you will deal with their assistants that'll book you, right? And I'm talking now more on the private limo side, because you should be using that car in Uber, you should be using that car in Lyft, right? But you have that perfect opportunity to set up your own company. And a couple of these trips, ladies and gentlemen, you know, whether it's $120, $150 trips or $100, just imagine you're doing 2, 3, 4, 5 of them a day. What that adds up to per day, per week, per month, per year, right? So I encourage you, if you're happy in UberX, I'm super happy for you. Never judge you. I'm happy that you're out there in your Prius or your Honda Civic and you're just having fun and listening to music. I love it. Believe me, I love that level just as much as I love this level. But if you want to play with these big boys, be ready. Be ready to spend. Be ready to talk. Be ready for topics. If it interests you, reach out to me. I'll gladly share more information about it. You have my email and my number underneath the video. If you want to join the SUV, the Black or the Lux category, ask me how. I can give you a wealth of information. If you want to join UberX or Uber XL or Lyft Premier or Lyft Plus, reach out, ask me the tough questions. I've driven in all the categories. I've had fun in all the categories. This is now my niche market. This is like where I like to be, SUV and private limo trips. And by all means, whatever comes to your mind, share it with me. I hope I can answer it. Peace and drive safe, my friend.